DFS Jerusalem. Tonight we're going to be breaking down last night's 10-game NBA slate. We're going to jump into a little core 4 review as well as the feature 4 players and pretty much go with our regular formatting of the show. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Now, it wasn't a very great night for me when it came to my personal DraftKings FanDuel, my personal lineups. It wasn't a very great night for me. I think I ended up retrieving a very small amount of my complete buy-in back. And I was, down in the dumps. My head was down low. I was like, damn, man, I got to go in there and tell these people how I done fucked up and picks weren't all that great. Damn, man, I hate when this happens, man. I hate that, So I'm about to go on Twitter so I can post my nightly tweet where I let you know, hey, if I post the wins, I got to post the losses. So I'm posting tonight's losses. So I go in there, and this is what I see. The homie DP says somehow I cashed in every single entry with the same line, only 271. Oh boy, this is why ownership matters. So we got cats. That's winning. Then the homie Nick Gutierrez says, even with 2 snowflakes, I still took home 12 times my buying in one night. I don't post much on it, but my best piece of advice is to stick with the process. The Guru and the Fan Minutes group have helped me more these few short months than any other site had joined in the past. Keep it 300. Dude goes out off a $41 buy-in, pulls in $496. Then the big homie Aaron McNeil had an awesome night. 101 in entries, took out $887. Went ham in the 15K Wednesday NBA single entry block over on FanDuel. Excellent showing from him. Got it all the way in on his, so that was awesome. And if I go through all of these, it's going to take all night. But the big homie, Jeremiah Alexander Severino, he was once the king of the sweatshop. Took home 25K a couple weeks back, or a couple months ago, I believe. Went out and had an excellent showing. Finished in 5th place in the 250 crossover. Right there. There it is. The big homie in the sweatshop right there. The big homie. That's my dude. So we've had some really, really excellent showings in the sweatshop. And it's wonderful to see these cats win, man. Even when I don't win, it's wonderful to see these cats win, man. I definitely enjoy them. Even got a tweet sent out from the homie Cam ATL from the DFS squad, shouting out the homie Danny Williams 74 for taking a top spot in their winner-take-all tournament. One of the homies from the sweatshop repping the logo. So even though I didn't have a great night, a lot of cats in the sweatshop did. It shows that regardless of the picks that I put out, it is the process that these young guys, or these guys and girls, excuse me, because we got some ladies went into, the process is what these people are into, and it's what is making them profitable players. I am so excited about that. It made me feel a lot better. Even though I didn't have a good night, a lot of cats in the sweatshop did. They hit me with some messages. Thanks, man. Thanks for all you do. We appreciate you. Thank you for going so hard. Blah, 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 blah. All of that. And it's wonderful. And I was down in the dumps, feeling kind of sorry for myself because, I just couldn't put it together tonight. Had some really solid lineups, some solid builds. But all in all, man, it was not a great night personally for me. But it was a really nice night for the sweatshop. We got to see the logo. The industry got to see the logo in some very high places. Whenever that happens, that lets you know it's not just about the picks, man. It's about the process. It's about being involved, chopping it up, mixing it up, going inside of the actual DFS sweatshop in the VIP, man, and really kicking it with some of the brightest minds that daily fantasy sports has to offer. Very awesome stuff. Let's go ahead and jump into that Sinister core 4. We're gonna start with a play that I really liked. I mean, coming into this to last night, this dude had posted back-to-back 30-point games, was in what I felt was a solid spot, taking on a rookie point guard. I thought he would be the savvy veteran player to go ahead and get it done, and not to have a huge scoring game, but do all of the peripheral things that we know that this guy is capable of doing. And CP3 at 8.2K went out and scored 22.25 DraftKings points. He was 14% owned. A horrible showing we saw from him. I was not pleased with that at all. Next guy we're going to talk about is his teammate. I decided to pair those guys together in the core 4. We're talking about DeAndre Jordan. 6.6K was the salary on him. He went out and scored at 17% owned, scored 50.75 DraftKings points. That was an awesome showing we saw from him. Then we had Rick Rubio was a gentleman we had in the core four as well. I like the spot that he was in. Knew he was going to be the overwhelming chalk. Wanted to get a piece of it at 7.4K, 26% in ownership. He goes out and scores 40.25 DraftKings points, and we rounded out the core four with James Johnson. Now, he got into some early foul trouble, did not see the court much in the first half, kind of came on stronger late in the fourth quarter, but the damage to my roster builds was already done. There was no way to getting out of that. Not a great game, not a great showing for my core four plays, thus not a great showing for me in the sweatshop. But like I said, a lot of cats got to it, and that's always awesome. So let's go ahead and jump to the feature four plays of the night. These are the four most talked about, tweeted about guys in the DFS sweatshop, in the Facebook VIP, and as well as on Twitter. We're going to talk about the who dat scoring all them points over there, player of the night. This can only go to one cat. I'm talking Scal Labissiere. Oh, man. Awesome game for this cat, man. The dude went out at 3% owned, 3.7K, and brought back 50.25 DraftKings points. Now, it is always hard to gauge, especially at this point in the season when we know the Sacramento Kings are in tank mode. It's hard to gauge who's going to be in, who's going to be out. We got some news later on that some guys are going to be sitting. Most people didn't fuck with that game either. That's why if you were able to get Scal, you got him at such a low ownership, and with a huge scoring game like that, that had to help you get close to the cash line. It had to. Awesome game there. Next guy we're going to talk about is the how did I miss that play tonight. Now, I got a message from one of the homies in the sweatshop. My main man, he been down. This dude right here, much love for this dude. This dude been down since day one. Like, I remember me and this dude was like he was the only dude that would respond to me on Twitter at one point. Like, me and this dude, like, talk about John Adams, the homie. He hit me up and was like, yo, I think you need to fuck with Kawhi today. I got a feeling I like him. I'm going to have him in a lot of spots. So I did some research on it. I checked it out. I was like, you know what? I do like him. I do like him. We didn't know at that point, we didn't really know if we were going to see LaMarcus Aldridge or if we did see him, if he was going to be limited in his minutes. I was like, yeah, they're going to need that scoring punch. I like him. So I got him in my FanDuel line. Didn't have him anywhere on DraftKings. And when they said that he was going to be playing LaMarcus Aldridge and see, a full allotment of minutes, I moved off him. Now I moved to Paul George, which wasn't a horrible move, but that kind of reconstructed my entire lineup. It took Lou Williams out of that lineup and put because I was on FanDuel. It took Lou Williams out and it put fucking Jeremy Lamb in. Well, it didn't. I did, and totally fucked me up on FanDuel. But the homie John Adams did have a good night. He did get his fill of Kawhi Leonard, I believe, across both sites. So shout out to you. Awesome call there. Really, really nice play. And that is why tonight you are the how did I miss that play tonight, Mr. Kawhi Leonard at 9.8K, 11% owned. You went out and led all DraftKings scorers at 65.25 DraftKings points. Awesome game for you. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the heat check play tonight. Now, this doesn't have to go to the guy that scores the most points. It doesn't have to go to the guy that is the highest in salary. But tonight, it's going to go out to the guy that for under all precepts, he went out and he fucking balled. I'm talking about sweet Lou Williams. This dude was out there fumbling and bumbling and stumbling and knocking down shots. He played better than James Harden did. Awesome game we saw from sweet Lou Williams. That is a heat check to you. Salute. You'd heat check play tonight. And this is a no-brainer play. We talked about him. This is one of the first questions I asked when I woke up this morning to the cats in the sweatshop. I was like, yo, we got two pieces of narratives in this game. We got Corey Brewer going back to Houston, and the guy he was traded for, we've got Sweet Lou playing against his Lakers. Now, I wasn't a big, fan of the whole, it's a revenge game, because it wasn't really a revenge game. This is more of, I'm happy now. I'm on a contender, and I'm going to show you how happy I am by stumbling and fumbling and bumbling and knocking down shots on y'all bitch ass. And that's exactly what he did. Shout out to you, sweet Lou Williams. You are the heat check player of the night. Let's go get it. Now we must talk about that one motherfucker. And we already spoke of this one motherfucker because 14% of the lineups that had him in there, he fucked up. And tonight, this kind of pains me because I am a point guard. And I feel like I have a good read on when people can assist. You have commercials. You have a twin brother named Cliff who probably would have had a better game than you. Tonight, Chris, Mr. Paul, you a motherfucking snowflake. with your snowflake ass. How the fuck do you go out at 14% ownership, 8.2K, completely in position to change some folks' lives? There's plenty of lineups in the sweatshop that sat around 310, 315, with your snowflake ass sitting in it with 22.25 DraftKings points. Do you know how that makes me feel to know that you could have changed some of these guys' lives tonight in the sweatshop, but you decided to go out and play like a little bitch? And for that, for the rest of the regular season, brother, you're dead to me. I said it. Chris Paul, I ain't gonna play your ass till the playoffs start. It's over. You're fucking dead. Now let's get on with the rest of the motherfucking shit. Now, let's go ahead and get into my very best DraftKings lineup. I show you this for a few reasons, just to give you a look at who I'm playing, just so you know that the guys that are in my player pool are actually the guys that I'm playing. Now, this lineup was one that I kind of liked it, but it just didn't have that star power that we covet sometimes. A guy in the sweatshop, man, really cool guy, Rudy Herta. He has been on a mission to let everybody know that you do not have to roster the high dollar point guards. You can pay down in some spots and get even more production, and also have a more balanced lineup, especially on a slate like we had tonight. And me, I'm hard-headed, man. I'm a point guard. I love to have John Wall. I love to have Chris Paul on my team because those guys are flashy. But this guy has really been breaking it down simply pretty regularly. And as you can see here, I had this lineup a couple times in the quarter games, a few times in the dollar games, and that's where I make my lineups. And what I do is, if I really like it, then I graduate it to make it to my single entry, because I usually run between 5 and 10 lineups per slate, especially if it's a really nice, like a 10, 11, 8, from 8 to 12 game slate. I'm going to have 10 lineups. So this lineup here, I wanted to pair Mike Conley with Marc Gasol, and originally this lineup started as Mike Conley and Marc Gasol and Chris Paul and DeAndre Jordan. And I really thought that I was going to be in line for some really solid returns, because if you look at Marco Bellinelli, that's the play that I was on all day that everybody in the shop tried to talk me off of, but I like the spot that he was in, man. And if he didn't shoot so bad, this would have been a monster game for him at that 3.6K price tag. Of course, we had Lou Williams in there. He was kind of a no-brainer all day long. Jay Crowder was a player that I kind of took a shot on. It was between him and Marcus Morris, and I thought that Jay Crowder would be able to make a better return for me. And of course, we had Chris Paul here. This lineup finished with 285.25 DraftKings points. There are a couple of core 4 guys in there, as you can see. But now I'm going to go ahead and show you my single entry lineup. And I show that to you because I want you to know that I play those core 4 guys and my player pool guys. They're in my lineups, and I'm not a 150 lineup guy. Now, this is my single entry lineup. Now, this lineup kind of got fucked over by injury, bro. Like, John Wall, I thought I lost him completely in this game, but he ended up coming back, finishing strong, and grabbing 50.75 DraftKings points. I had the coach's son in there, which was a huge mistake. Everybody tried to talk me off of him, but I just had a feeling that he was going to play well. Maybe the reason why I had that feeling is because I'm a day early or a game early, because we know Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan going to be sitting out. That's going to be more minutes for a guy like Austin Rivers, probably going to start the game at the 3. So we're going to see him next time. Of course, you got Marco Bellinelli, again, a guy that I was on. When I found out that LaMarcus Aldridge was going to be playing and good to go, we got him in there. Of course, I had Chris Paul, was a core 4 member. Dwayne Wade was a. Now, I took out James Johnson, not James Johnson, but there's a core 4 guy missing in here. I took out Ricky Rubio to make room for Dwayne Wade so that I could pay up for LaMarcus Aldridge. Because originally, I believe this was Gorgie Jang here, LaMarcus Aldridge. And when I found out that he was going to be playing, I made that shift, and I probably shouldn't have. This probably was good the way it was. Probably still wouldn't have cashed, but this is my single entry lineup. I had it in the high 5 single entry, the jump shot, the daily dollar, the pick and roll. That's a $12 buy-in, and a couple of times in the dollar games. So, and this is just so you know, I'm keeping it real, man. The guys I'm talking about are the guys I'm playing. I take a loss, I take a loss. I win, I win. It's the process, and I'm going to be right 4 out of 10 times. It's just like a shooting percentage for an NBA player, man. 4 out of 10 times, I'm going to be right. So that is my single entry, which was not, and see, that's the biggest challenge for a player like me, a guy that just plays tournaments. I do not play cash games. This is as close as I'm going to get to playing a cash game. Those single entry GPPs, they are one shot, one kill, and that's just why I like to play. I like to play those. And the challenge for me on each slate, once I make 5, maybe 10 lineups, the biggest challenge is finding which one of those lineups I should feature as my single entry lineup, because I only run one lineup through all of my single entries. Now, let's roll through a quick recap of last night's NBA games. There were 10 games on the slate last night. We've got 6 games coming up on today. We're going to start in Chicago, where the Memphis Grizzlies came to town. Vince Carter, man, he had a really boss game out last time. Not so much this time. 29 minutes, 7 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Not a great game there. Also blocked the shot. We've got JaMychal Green, 23 minutes for him, 4 and 7 with 1 assist, 1 steal, and 1 block. But Marc Gasol, man, had an awesome game. In 37 minutes, 27 points, 6 boards, 7 assists, also blocked the shot while shooting 47% from the field. We need that to be higher for a big man. He shot 4 for 5 from the free throw line and 3 for 6 from behind the arc. Pretty solid game there. Tony Allen had a nice one in 23 minutes, 10 and 6 to go with 3 assists as well. We also saw a nice game, a really boss game from Mike Conley. In 36 minutes, he had 27 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal, while shooting 66% from the field, hit 6 of 6 free throws, and 5 of 8 from behind the arc. Z-Bo got into the action. Really nice game there. In 24 minutes, he had 8 and 3 with 3 assists. Not a bad game from Zach Randolph on the Chicago Bulls side. Jimmy Butler disappointed, 14 and 7 with 1 assist, 2 blocks. Was in the running to be a snowflake tonight. Not a great game there, but Rajon Rondo, man, this dude is continuing to play good basketball. In 34 minutes, he had 17 and 6 to go with 8 assists and 2 steals while shooting 43% from the field, and he hit 3 of 4 3-point shots. If Rondo is hitting 3 3-point shots in a game, he's having a great game. Nikola Mirotic in 27 minutes had 14 and 5 to go with 2 assists, also blocked a couple shots there. Denzel Valentine came in for Dwayne Wade in a lot of spots, and in 27 minutes, he had 11 points, 7 boards, and 3 assists with 1 steal. Pretty solid game there from him. Next game we're going to be talking about is the Houston Rockets at home, defending the home turf against the LA Lakers. Man, this was a really big game we saw from a couple of the Lakers. Well, one in particular. We're talking about Julius Randle, man. In 29 minutes, he had 32 points, 8 boards, and 2 assists while shooting 13 of 17 from the field. That is 76% shooting from the field. Hit 6 of 9 free throws. Really great game there. We saw Jordan Clarkson for 39 minutes. He had 18 and 2 with 3 assists and 2 steals. Not a great game, but not a bad game for him at all. And D'Angelo Russell in 25 minutes had 5 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. And Ivica Zubac only played 10 minutes in this game. And he had to have been in 4 fouls, man. Not a great game there from him. Not at all. Didn't see too much from Brandon Ingram. In 39 minutes, he had 18 and 6 to go with 3 assists and 1 steal. That was a solid game for that price point. I believe he was right at $5K. Not too bad there. Didn't see much from Nick Young. He played 24 minutes and only had 3 rebounds. Did not score a point. Went 0 for 9 from the field. Swaggy. Horrible game there from you. On the Houston Rockets side, the biggest question today was, man, you got to have Harden. The cats on the other bigger sites, you got to have Harden. Because, man, bro, the Lakers just got the doors blown off of them by the Denver Nuggets. And this is the best three-point shooting team in the league. And if these guys, they have to play horribly bad for the Lakers to be in this game. We all knew this game was going to blow out. For me, there was no reason to roster Harden unless you thought he could do everything he needed to do to make value somewhere around the first half or midway through the third quarter. And that just wasn't the case. I mean, the dude had a 30-point first quarter, and I was like, oh, shit, is he going to go off for 120? But then I thought about it. I'm like, yo, he's not, because the other guys are playing well, too. He's just getting a lot of assists, scoring a few points, but it's going to taper off. And I said he probably ain't even going to make value, and that's exactly what happened. James Harden was a motherfucking snowflake. So, pretty good game there. He did triple-double, 18 and 12 to go with 13 assists and 2. And when you can do all of that and still be a snowflake, you've got to take a look at rostering these guys at these price points, man. They're crazy. They're crazy. Clint Capella in 21 minutes had 15 and 10 to go with 2 assists. Pretty solid game there from him. Sweet Lou Williams in 31 minutes had 30 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals. Also blocked the shot. He shot 64% from the field and hit 7 of 9 3-point shots. That is an excellent shooting game we saw from Sweet Lou Williams. That's why he is tonight's Heat Check Play tonight. Awesome game there from him. Saw a nice game from Trevor Ariza as well. In 28 minutes, he had 20 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and 4 steals, and he was really helped by Ryan Anderson being hit in the mouth or elbowed in the mouth by Julius Randle in this game. He only played 15 minutes, didn't do much, had 2 rebounds and 1 assist, just didn't play very much. I think he came back to the game, but it just wasn't the same for him. Didn't see much else with anybody else off of the bench. We saw Nene for 13 minutes. He had 10 points and 3 rebounds. Eric Gordon had 10 points, 3 boards, 4 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. Patrick Beverly kind of let us down at 26 minutes. He had 9 points, 4 boards, 5 assists, and 1 steal. Not a great game there from him. Next game we're talking about is the San Antonio Spurs. This is a really solid game for Kawhi Leonard, man. The dude just went the fuck off. But I'm going to tell you what really happened. Guy hit me up in the sweatshop, too. It was like, yo, what have the last few point guards done against the San Antonio Spurs? And I'm thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, Rubio smashed them. Boy smashed them. Blah, blah. He's like, yo, we need to be on Dame Lillard. I couldn't move. I just couldn't move to do it. This team just got blown out the other night. Dame Lillard had not been playing awesome basketball. I thought he would need some more help from C.J. McCollum. Then we found out that LaMarcus Aldridge is going to be coming back. So I was like, you know what? Nah, I can't fuck with that. The hell he did. 34 minutes, he had 36 real-life points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. He shot 54% from the field, hit all 9 free throws, hit 3 of 8 3-point shots. Dame Lillard had a Dame game. Awesome game there. The ownership was very low across the board, across all sites, and he balled out. C.J. McCollum, he did chip in 39 minutes. He had 26 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1 steal. He shot 50% from the field, hit both 3-point shots and all 8 of his free throws. Noah Vonleh even chipped in with a solid game in 26 minutes. He had 12 points, 6 boards, and 3 assists while shooting 4 for 4 from the field. That is 100%. Hit all 4 free throws. That's 100%. Pretty solid game there we saw from Noah Vonleh. Even Yusuf Nurkic had a decent one. In 34 minutes, he had 16 points, 9 boards, 3 assists, and 4 steals. Also blocked the shot. On the San Antonio side, Kawhi Leonard, we talked about him already, man. How the fuck did I miss that play tonight? In 36 minutes, he had 34 points, 9 assists, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. He shot 57% from the field, hit 4 of 7 shots from behind the arc, and 6 of 7 free throws. Pretty nice game there. LaMarcus Aldridge in his first game back from that injury, or not injury, but just that heart situation he had. Come to find out, it's something that he's been dealing with all year long. He's fine. He's going to be good. They were just, taking precautions and running tests and making sure that he was going to continue to be okay as they go into their playoff stretch. In 32 minutes, he had 19 and 7 with 4 assists. Shot 9 for 24 from the field. Took a lot of shots in this game. And if he has a better shooting game from the field, as a big man should, it would have been a monster game. And it would have been well worth me making that move in my roster, but it just was not. Patty Mills in 37 minutes had 13 and 3 with 6 assists while shooting 50% from the field. And Paul Gasol in 18 minutes had 12 and 5 with an assist, a steal, and a block. Saw 19 minutes of David Lee. He had 12 and 5 to go with an assist. Not a great game there from him. Next game we're going to be talking about is the Phoenix Suns at the crib taking on the Sacramento Kings. Man, this is a very entertaining game, man. You could have stacked the bigs from this game and just fucking took down some shit in the late, man. You really could have. Aaron Aflalo, he did play 29 minutes. The worst basketball player I have ever seen in my life. 14 points, 4 rebounds. Not a great game there from him. Willie Cauley-Stein, man, this dude did everything. Name something that you can do on a basketball court. He did it. Everything. 14 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals, 4 blocks. He shot 54% from the field, hit 2 of 6 free throws. Just an awesome game all around for Willie Cauley-Stein, man. And the dude is very talented. Scal Labissiere in 29 minutes, the who that scoring on points over there player tonight had 32 points, 11 rebounds, and 2 steals in his 29 minutes. Shot 73% from the field, hit 9 of 11 free throws, and knocked down 1 of 1 3-point shots. Pretty solid game there from him. Ty Lawson, not a great one. In 26 minutes, he had 11 points, 3 boards, and 6 assists. We also saw Costa Coopers for 19 minutes. He had 13 and 6 to go with 2 assists and 2 blocks. Pretty decent game for his price point. Buddy Hield, that was a stinker, bro. Buddy Hield in 21 minutes had 7 points, 2 boards, and 1 block. Horrible game there from him. Didn't see much from Garrett Temple. Tyreek Evans played 14 minutes and did not score a fucking point. Horrible game there. Next game we're going to be talking about is the LA Clippers at home taking on the Milwaukee Bucks, man. And this game really hurt me a lot, man. This is the late night hammer game, the last game on the slate. Chris Middleton for the Milwaukee side in 31 minutes had 16 points, 7 boards, 2 assists, and 2 steals. Pretty solid game there. Giannis Antetokounmpo in 27 minutes had 16 and 5 with 5 assists. Not a great game from him. Also blocked the shot 50% from the field. We saw a pretty decent game from Greg Monroe in 27 minutes. He had 12 points, 6 boards, 4 assists, and 2 steals. And we also saw Malcolm Brogdon straight take it to Chris Paul, man. He didn't have a monster game, only played 25 minutes, but he had 11 points, 2 boards, and 5 assists to go with the steal. And I guess he played some fairly decent defense because we did not see a big point total, or anything for that matter from Chris Paul. Man, it was a bad game altogether. In 35 minutes, your snowflake of the night had 6 points, 5 boards, and 7 assists to go with a steal. He shot 20% from the field, 2 of 10, hit 1 of 4 3-point shots. Not a great game there at all. Jamal Crawford came off of the bench, and he did contribute. In 31 minutes, he had 14 and 2 to go with 3 assists. We saw Blake Griffin for 37 minutes. He had 18 and 7 to go with 4 assists. Not a great game there. But DeAndre Jordan, man, he held this whole thing together and kept them in the game down the stretch. In 36 minutes, he had 22 points, 17 boards, and 2 assists to go with 2 blocks. Pretty decent game we saw from him. Now, next game to talk about is the Washington Wizards taking on the Dallas Mavericks. This is a pretty decent game, man. It kind of went down to the wire. On the Dallas side, man, those guys played some really good ball. Once we found out that we're not going to see Wesley Matthews, a lot of people moved to get Lil Bro in the lineups, and I wasn't one of them, man. And maybe I should have, because he had a fairly decent game. In 33 minutes, he had 19 points, 1 assist, and 2 steals while shooting 60% from the field. We saw a nice one from J.J. Barea, jumped off of the bench and dished out 13 dimes. Also scored 6 points and grabbed 2 boards. Pretty solid game there. Nick Persino, man, in 23 minutes had 11 and 9 to go with 2 steals. Pretty solid game, but I'm sure he was 0% owned. And Harrison Barnes, damn near double-doubled in 39 minutes. He had 22 points, 9 boards, and 2 assists while shooting 62% from the field. We saw Dorian Finney-Smith get the start. He only played 19 minutes. He did grab 8 boards and dish out a dime. He had 2 points. Not a great game there from him, but it was okay at that price point. And Dirk Nowitzki in 32 minutes had 20 points, 4 boards, and 2 assists while blocking 1 shot. On the Washington side, man, Otto Porter, man, he was nice. He really had a good one. In 37 minutes, he had 14 points, 10 boards, and 5 assists while shooting 66% from the field. Hit 2 of 4 3-point shots. Bad game for Markieff Morris, excuse me. In 31 minutes, he had 5 and 7 with 3 assists and 1 steal. Marcin Gortat came 2 points shy of that double-double bonus. Not a great game from him. 8 points and 10 boards. Brad Beal had 24 and 2 with 5 assists while shooting 45% from the field. And we saw John Wall for 36 minutes, even though he was on that bum foot, man. He hurt his foot and came back at the half and still had a decent game. In 36 minutes, he had 26 points, 11 assists, 1 rebound, and 3 steals while shooting 50% from the field. Hit 2 of 5 3-point shots and 4 of 6 free throws. Pretty solid game from Bojan Bogdanovic off of the bench. In 24 minutes, he had 19 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist. Pretty solid game there from him. Next game we're talking about is the Indiana Pacers at home against the Charlotte Hornets. Now, I did not roster Kemba at all. Away from the Beehive, man, it's just hard for me to roster. I mean, he's got to be in a super duper plus matchup for me to give him some play away from the Beehive, and he's got to be right around 8K. Right around 8K. Got to be. So MKG in 26 minutes had 10 and 1 rebound with 1 assist and 1 block. Not a good game there. Nobody really balled out, man. Frank Kaminsky, he played 31 minutes and had 20 points, 4 boards, 1 assist, and 1 steal. Didn't see much from Kemba Walker, man. Dude had 7 points, 1 rebound, and 4 assists in 29 minutes. That is the worst game I've seen from him all year long. Jeremy Lamb, I faded him all over DraftKings, but I did play him on FanDuel. Should have faded them all together. He was in a really good fade spot because the price was up on him. And guys like that rarely can carry the load of being a starter every night. This dude's not a starting caliber talent. It's different when you got a guy that's on the bench that he could start on other teams. This guy's a starter, but the guy in front of him is better. So when he gets his chance, he plays really good. He just plays really great. And did you have those guys? Jeremy Lamb is not one of those guys. He's just not. He's really not. So Jeremy Lamb was a great fade. Another good fade on the slate was Marvin Williams. He played 34 minutes, had 4 points, 6 boards, 1 assist, 1 steal, and 1 block. And the price was up on him at 6.5K. That was just too much to pay for that guy, man. Deontay Weber in 19 minutes had 8 and 5 with 2 assists and 2 steals. And on the Indiana side, I wanted to attack the Charlotte Hornets at the shooting guard position, and I did it, but I did it with the wrong guy. I took C.J. Miles. He's in 18 minutes. He had 9 points and 1 rebound. But the guy that I should have attacked him with was Monte Ellis. In 26 minutes, he had 16 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. Really solid game there. Jeff T kind of woke up a little bit, had 8 and 8 to go with 11 assists while shooting 37% from the field. Not a great shooting percentage there, but he did wake up a little bit. And Paul George led all the players in scoring in this game. In 33 minutes, he had 39 points, 5 boards, 3 assists, and 3 steals. And there was a point in the game where he had like 14 DraftKings points. And I looked again, and he had like 41. Like, he went the fuck off in one of those quarters. He went ham. This game we're talking about is the Boston Celtics at home against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And the Timberwolves they're an enigma. They're a riddle. They're a riddle wrapped in an enigma. Because some nights it looked like they're ready for the fucking work. And then another night it looked like a really good college team playing against some pros. And tonight they just did not look very sharp, man. Andrew Wiggins in 39 minutes had 21 points, 4 boards, 4 assists. He shot 39% from the field, going 9 of 23, hit 2 of 4 3-point shots, missed 3 free throws. He took 4 of them. Karl Anthony Towns in 40 minutes had 17 and 14 with 4 assists. Not a great game there. Gorgie Jang 8 and 9 with 4 assists. The only guy that really showed up was Rick Rubio. In 32 minutes, he had 23 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, and 1 steal. And you can't forget about Shabazz Muhammad, which I think those minutes were supposed to go to Nemanja Bjelica, but he only played 11 minutes due to an injury. I think it was the ankle. He didn't play. It didn't return to the game. Then we saw Shabazz Muhammad. He had 21 points, 3 boards, and 1 assist. Also blocked the shot. Pretty good game from him, but nobody was on him. On the Boston side, really solid scoring game we saw from Isaiah Thomas. In 31 minutes, he had 27 points, 3 boards, 4 assists, and 1 steal, and you just can't roster this guy if he's above 8K. Avery Bradley has made it to the point where you just can't roster him because Avery just does so much scoring and does so many good things with the ball, and he's such a great defender. You just can't roster Isaiah Thomas at this point above 8K. Speaking of Avery Bradley, in 31 minutes, he had 18 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists while shooting 58% from the field, hit 4 of 6 3-point shots. What the fuck? Where did this Al Horford come from? When I was on you the other day, motherfucker, you ain't do nothing. In 29 minutes, dude had 20 points, 9 boards, 8 assists, got 2 block shots, 9 of 12 from the field for 75%, hit a 3-pointer, knocked down a free throw. Dude just went the fuck off today. Went off. Wonderful game. Marcus Smart in 26 minutes off of the bench had 10 and 2 to go with 6 assists. And we saw Kelly Olynyk for 13 minutes. He had 10 points, 1 board, and 3 assists in his time on the floor. Next game we're talking about is the Miami Heat at the crib. And there was a bunch of correlations we could have used tonight. Yo. Like there was a lot of like, if you could have really legit went Dragic, Whiteside, Conley, Gasol, and anybody else you fucking wanted to, and you would have cashed everywhere. That's just how good the correlations were tonight, and that's just gonna happen from time to time. Speaking of the Miami Core and Dragic and those guys, we're gonna jump into this game here. The New Orleans Pelicans, man. DeMarcus Cousins. This newsflash. This dude's a fucking baby, bro. Quit being such a little bitch, man. Go out and play. Stop crying about every fucking call. A dude fouled him, and they blew the whistle, and he thought that they were blowing the whistle on him, and he starts crying. Bro, they're calling a foul against the dude that hit you, bro. Relax. Like, chill. Dude cries over every fucking call, man. In 30 minutes, he had 19 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 steals, and he got kneed in the hip, I think, by James Johnson on one of the last plays of the game. Didn't come back in the game. We need to check on that. He could be injured there. Anthony Davis in 34 minutes had 27 and 8 to go with 1 assist and 3 steals. Also blocked 3 shots. Pretty solid game from him. Etwan Moore dropped 18 points in 34 minutes. He also had a rebound and an assist. And we saw Jordan Crawford, who I've got to get to know a little bit more. In 20 minutes, he had 10 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1 steal. Pretty solid game for him at that price point. Not much from Solomon Hill. In 25 minutes, he had 4 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. Also blocked the shot. On the Miami side, Dion Waiters was chucking them up, man. 5 of 15, 33%. Not a great shooting game for him. He finished with 14 points, 1 rebound, and 3 assists. Also had a steal. Hassan Whiteside went up and came down with 17 rebounds. scored 20 points, had a steal, blocked a couple shots, shot 81% from the field, hit 2 of 2 free throws. Really nice game we saw from him. Goran Dragic led all scorers in points. In 31 minutes, he had 33 points, 5 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block while shooting 61% from the field, hit 5 of 9 3-point shots, and 6 of 8 free throws. Very solid game there. Even Tyler Johnson had a nice one. In 28 minutes, he had 10 points, 3 rebounds, 9 assists, and 3 steals. Pretty solid game there from him. In this game we're going to be talking about is the Detroit Pistons at home defending the home court against the Utah Jazz. We had a really nice game from Gordon Hayward, man. In 33 minutes, he had 25 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, and 1 steal. And this is what we were talking about on the other night's show, man. When Derek Favors is not in the lineup, he has to assume more of a rebounding role. And we saw him a little bit more active on the boards. That definitely showed in last night's game. He shot 52% from the field, hit 4 of 7 3-point shots, and hit all 3 of his free throws. Joe Johnson got the start in place of Derek Favors, and in 28 minutes, he had 12 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, and 3 steals with a blocked shot. Pretty good game there. Rudy Gobert, decent game. In 35 minutes, he had 12 points, 9 boards, 5 assists, and also got 4 blocked shots. George Hill, not a horrible game, but not a great one either. In 30 minutes, he had 17 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. And Joe Ingles, Mr. Jingles, in 27 minutes had 12 points, 3 boards, 4 assists, and 1 steal. On the Detroit Pistons side, who played well? Ish. In 27 minutes, Ish Smith had 16 and 3 to go with 3 assists. Everybody else was shit. I'm talking about 20 minutes for Andre Drummond. Dude had 6 points and 5 boards to go with a steal. How the fuck did you do that? Aaron Baines had the best game out of all of these cats, man. In 23 minutes, he had 12 points, 12 boards, 2 assists, also blocked the shot. He shot 54% from the field, and that is an anomaly. You're never going to want to roster that dude. So now that we've recapped last night's NBA slate, let's go ahead and jump into a very quick player pricing for tomorrow's 6-game slate. Now, the beauty of a slate like this, is, you know, it still has stackability. It still does. You don't just have to roster one particular way. I'm going to issue out a core 4 because anything 6 or more, I will issue out a core 4, but you don't have to. You can definitely stack this game if you like. You're more than welcome to stack this slate if you like. So we're going to pop up in this NBA, and we have the 6-game slate that begins at 7 p.m. We've got a 2-game turbo. We've also got a 2-game later. Now, what I'm going to implore you to do is something I do every show. Every time I come out and I talk to you, I plead with you to, check this out. What I want you to do, examine these. Look at these first. Don't just tilt on the 7 o'clock and run into these shit butt naked. You know what I mean? Don't do that. Go ahead and look at them now. Make a couple lineups there now. If you like them, throw them bitches in the main. It's only 6 games, a 6-game slate. So you can stack 2 games, throw that bitch in the main, and maybe those 2 games will outscore everybody that's in the main. You could take down a GPP from on a turbo slate or a late slate. I'm telling you, especially since some of the latest games are the West Coast games. They're more high scoring. Think about it, brother. Think about it. I ain't gonna tell you nothing wrong. I love you. Let's go ahead and pop up in this 6-game slate. We're gonna jump to some player pricing, kind of flow through it and see what we can come up with together. Let me jump over here on this side. Move over here, or should I move over here? Am I better over here? Which side? Which is my good side? Is it right here? Okay, thank you. You know, I'm showing off with the new fundamentals. So let's go ahead and check it out. We're gonna click on all the players. First, you can see you got Russell Westbrook. He's 13K, and you know what? This slate is just small enough for me to tell you, play Westbrook. Just do it. Just do it. If there were 2 more games on this slate, this was an 8-game slate, I would not have just said that. But it's a 6-game slate. It can go from core to stack. You can have a stack. You can have a stack, one stack as your core. So this can be a core or a stack slate. I'm going to issue out a core 4. But just play Westbrook. Get him in your lineups. Play him. Now, and I'm saying this under the premise that you play multiple lineups. If you just want one line, I ain't saying you got to have Russell Westbrook. But if you're going to play multiple lineups, don't completely fade this dude. You got to play him somewhere. You got to. That's enough on Russell Westbrook. Next is going to be Nikola Jokic, the next highest priced player at 10.6. You can definitely play him because, of course, you've got some guys that are not making the trip. We're talking about DeAndre Jordan is not going to Denver. Blake Griffin is not going to Denver. So, yeah, you can definitely play Jokic tomorrow. LeBron James, play him at 10.4 against the Utah Jazz. But the game is in Cleveland. I love LeBron James. He is on a mission at this moment. He's going to score a ton of points. I think he's going to play very well. I have no issue with him. Steph Curry at 9.5 is not a play that I'm particularly interested in. The Orlando Magic suck. I think they're one of those teams that are trying to go in a tank as well. We won't see them put up too much of a fight. Not like Philadelphia did. This team just doesn't have that type of grit with them. It's not a young, scrappy team. This is some guys that don't even give a fuck, really, man. They really don't. They just don't. Chris Paul. Yeah, now, I went on a rant. I ain't going to roster your ass again. And the only condition that I would roster Chris Paul in this lineup is, who else is going to play? Who else is going to play? I probably ain't going to play him tomorrow because at 8.8K, you ain't going to score 20 points and then go up 600 and think I'm going to fucking play you. I'm not playing him tomorrow. But I'm going to play some guys around him. I think he can have a decent enough game to where he can positively impact the guys that I roster around him. Kevin Durant is out. You know that. DeMar DeRozan at 8.3 is not a play that I really like a lot. But on such a short slate, he does deserve consideration. Of course, Blake is not playing. Give me some of that Carmelo at 8.1. I'm going to take some of that, definitely. Draymond Green is a player that I do like when it comes to the Golden State side. I like the spot that he's in. He had a really great game out last time. I can definitely get some of that. Kyrie Irving. You can give me some Kyrie Irving at 7.9. The price is down on him and LeBron. Actually, I don't mind it at all. Mike Conley, yes, at 7.6. I will have a Memphis stack in the works. Elfrid Payton, 7.4. Not a play that I really like too much. Just really not. I do like Marc Gasol, even though he's matched up against the Atlanta Hawks front court. I do like him. Vucevic is a play that I'm kind of interested in at 7.3. I can get behind some of that. Kristaps probably is not going to be playing. Paul Millsap, no, I don't like Paul Millsap. After what he did to me, I don't like Paul Millsap. Klay Thompson, you can give me some of that at 7K. Gordon Hayward is a yes at 6.9. Definitely. 6.9 for Gordon Hayward. You can give me some of that. I do like Rudy Gobert at 6.8. Even though he's going to be against Tristan Thompson, the dude is very long and rangy. I think he's going to be able to, score some buckets and also collect some rebounds. I don't have a problem there. Brook Lopez is a player that I do kind of like at 6.8. No Derrick Rose for me. DeAndre Jordan, yes, you can give me some of that DeAndre Jordan. He's going to be the only. Oh, I'm sorry. DeAndre Jordan is not playing. He's not making a trip to Denver. He's not making a trip to Denver. I just like DeAndre Jordan. He's not making a trip to Denver. Vic Oladipo will be present in my Oklahoma City stack. Dennis Schroeder at 6.4. We can play Dennis Schroeder. We can play him as a one-off. I'm not going to be stacking Atlanta, but we can play him as a one-off. George Hill at 6.3. Yes, of course you can play George Hill against Kyrie Irving defense. Willie Hernangomez probably will be in the starting rotation or get starters minutes, one of the two, because Kristaps is probably going to be out tomorrow. So you could probably look forward to seeing him getting upwards of 25, maybe 30 minutes tomorrow. Dwight Howard at 6.1. That's a very cheap price for Dwight Howard, man. And this guy, that's kind of hard to pass up. I do like Jeremy Lin at 6K. I think he's going to have another shot at creating one of those old Lin sanity moments. The price is up on him just a tad. But going back to MSG, man, where it all started for him, I think that's a good game. You've got a little revenge narrative going on here. Serge Ibaka at home at the Air Canada Center with the Oklahoma City Thunder coming to town. I think he's going to want to play well against Russell Westbrook. I think he is. And I think that's a narrative that I am going to buy into in some spots. I will have him in some lineups. Gary Harris at 5.8. I do like the spot that he's in. Evan Fournier is a no for me, even though he's matched up in a very good DVP, 30th in the league. I don't want any of that. Aaron Gordon at 5.6. You can give me some Aaron Gordon because I think Golden State Warriors, of course, are going to try to play fast and maybe make it hard. But I don't think they can't take Vucevic off of the floor because he's pretty mobile. But they're going to try to make it hard by getting up and down the court. And I think that's going to benefit a guy like Aaron Gordon. Mason Plumlee at 5.5. If he is in the starting rotation again like he was, I'll take him, definitely. Because last time they started him at power forward. I'll take him. But only thing is, it's a late game. Are we going to find that out? Zach Randolph, 5.4. If this game was in Memphis, I would like him. At Atlanta, not so much. I do like Will Barton at 5.3. You can give me some Enes Kanter at 5.3 as well. Tim Hardaway Jr. is in play for me. Just not a lot. Courtney Lee, I kind of like the spot Courtney Lee is in. Trevor Booker, fast-paced. The fastest-paced team in the league is the Brooklyn Nets. Going against New York Knicks, you can make them run any way you want to. You can change the ebb and flow of the New York Knicks because we are a bad team. This game is going to come down to the end just like it did last time. They almost blew us out. That game was in Brooklyn. This game is at MSG. I don't have a problem with Trevor Booker at all. Derek Favors is out. Valanciunas is not in play for me at 5K. The price came up 200 on him, which isn't much, but I just don't want to take a shot against Steven Adams and then Cantor, or he may not get a lot of minutes, or it might be a game where they want to, feed Ibaka because the narrative is there. So I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna have too much of him. Jamal Murray at 4.9. He's not starting, so I kind of don't like that 4.9K move up like that. I kind of don't like that, especially if you're gonna see the defense of a guy like Austin Rivers. He's a very solid defender. Corey Joseph at 4.8 does deserve consideration for me. Terrence Ross at 4.7. No, I don't want any of that. Sean Kilpatrick is probably going to be out tomorrow. Steven Adams at 4.7. I kind of like that. Rodney Hood is a no for me. Bismack, no. Tristan, no. Norman Powell, he does deserve consideration. I do like Norman Powell at 4.5. Iguodala, not so much. I would much rather have, as a guy that's coming off of the bench for Golden State, I'd much rather have a cheaper guy that can swing and play power forward and small forward and just be out there and not be a distraction off the court. I'm not a fan of Andre Iguodala at 4.4K. Taj Gibson is in play at 4.4 as well. JJ Redick, yes. If you know we're not going to be seeing guys like Blake Griffin. We're not going to see DeAndre Jordan. The scoring got to come from somewhere. I think JJ Redick can definitely fit the bill here. Vince Carter at 4.2 is not a play that I'm particularly interested in. Ersan Ilyasova is a no for me. Jermichael Green is a no for me. Jamal Crawford, yes, another guy we can look to get some points for us for the Clippers. I like him. I like the spot that he's in. Tony Allen, 4K. We can look at that. Kent Bazemore at 4K. We can look at that as well. Jameer Nelson, if he does get the start, I do like him. He's cheaper than Jamal Murray, but if he gets the start, he gets the first crack at saying, hey, I'm doing well. Let me stay on the floor. And if that happens, I do like him. Kenneth Faried is questionable. Could suit up tomorrow. We have to check back and look out for that. Karis LeVert is a player that I absolutely love against the New York Knicks. This is a guy, man, that wants to prove that he's good. And you can tell the way he went at Melo. You can tell that he kind of was like, oh, man, I'm playing against Melo. You know what I mean? This is a guy that I looked up to when I was in high school or in college or whatever. And now I'm playing him. And he went at Melo. He went at him. Had a really nice game. Lance Thomas, now last time, he played very well. When I believe Willie Hernangomez wasn't having a great game, and Kristaps was in foul trouble, and he sits. They sit Hernangomez and put Lance Thomas, and he starts the second half of that Brooklyn game, and that's the reason why they came back. So he could be in play if he is starting tomorrow. Hollis Jefferson, yes, give me some of that at 4K. He's going to see a lot of defensive usage in this game, I think. This is the guy that can swing and play small or power forward. He's both eligible on DraftKings. This is the guy, the glue guy, I think, down the stretch for the Golden State Warriors. And I see him getting played in a blowout run or if it's a close game. Either way, I see him getting run. I like him there. I also like Zaza Pachulia at 3.9. I don't think they take him off the floor the way they had to against the Philadelphia 76ers unless they try to run them in that way. Juan Hernangomez is not a player that I'm really interested in, man. Unless we get something crazy happens like Jokic sits or something like that, I'm not going to be playing him. Joe Ingles is in play for us at 3.9. I think Rodney Hood is going to be in danger of not playing tomorrow. And so with Rodney Hood out as well as Derek Favors out, this guy is going to come in and probably see a starting role or see starters minutes. Isaiah Whitehead is a wild card I like at 3.9. I can look to him. Kyle O'Quinn is also another guy that we can look to. We know they're going to be one man short in the front court without Kristaps Porzingis. We can look to this guy to give us some quality minutes. Andre Roberson is a player that I kind of like at 3.9 as well. No Thabo for me. Joe Johnson is in play at 3.8. Archie Goodwin is a no. The coach's son, Austin Rivers, at 3.7K. Maybe I was a day early on him because I was on him last night. Maybe I was a day early. With those guys not playing, I'm going to give him some consideration at 3.7K. Maybe he starts at the 3. Maybe he does. I kind of like that. Shelvin Mack, no for me. J.R. Smith does deserve consideration, as does Channing Frye. Spencer Dinwiddie does deserve consideration at 2.7K. Not too much else to like here. Let's go ahead and try to find. Well, you got guys like Ian Clark that could be seeing minutes. Iman Shumpert maybe. But against Utah, man, I want to see what the point totals look like first before we invest too much into this. And if Patrick McCaw gets to start against Orlando, I'm going to give him consideration because he's had two pretty bad starts over the last couple of games, and I think that this kid's got something because they keep putting him in the starting rotation. This is not like Brandon Rush where dude's just a space filler because they have nothing they don't have nothing on the bench and they don't want to put their best bench player in the starting rotation. This is not that. Patrick McCaw is a young player that they're trying to groom for something, and we're going to see that the flashes of that at some point during the season. And I think I'm going to give him a shot tomorrow if he is in the starting lineup. Maurice Spates might get the start tomorrow for Blake Griffin and or for DeAndre Jordan. That definitely deserves consideration of 3.3K. Quincy AC 3.3 had a solid game out against the Knicks last time. I think he hit 4 3-point shots, so we can take a look at him as well. Let's see what we got as far as the 3K. Who is the 3K play of the day? 3K play of the day. Who's going to be? Let's look. Maybe some Mario Hazonia and some scrub love. Kevin Looney, JaVale McGee, maybe. Bamute might see some more usage offensively without DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin. That might be somebody we're going to look at. Maybe some Wesley Johnson or somebody like that. Maybe. Don't see too much, though. Trey Lyles, maybe. Don't see much. I really wouldn't put my eggs in the 3K play of the day basket. I really wouldn't. So, now, since we only got 6 games on the slate tomorrow, let's go ahead and run through the point totals really quickly and get a good read on where we want to put our stack set. Where would we like to go if we're going to be stacking or rolling with a core of plays? Let's check it out. We're going to start in Cleveland with the Utah Jazz as we come into town. It's a 208 point total. That is not a very low point total. That's pretty decent for a Utah Jazz game. Cleveland giving up 7 points in this game. Utah being the road dog. I have no issue with rostering a few guys from the Cleveland side. I do like LeBron. I like Kyrie. I think we can look to maybe some J.R. Smiths, maybe Channing Frye, maybe where I would go if I'd be stacking. I do like a couple of guys from the Utah side. I like Rudy Gobert. I also like your choice of Joe Johnson or Ingles. I do like in some spots. I think we can look to Rudy Gobert. However, there's going to be very cheap center options on this slate because of the guys that are going to be sitting out due to the rest. Oklahoma City and Toronto. That is a 2.5 point spread in favor of the Toronto Raptors. It is at the Air Canada Center. The point total is 208.5. That's not a bad point total either. So I will have some invested in this game. Like I said, I do buy into the narrative of the Oklahoma City Thunder going to Toronto, where Serge Ibaka was traded from the Orlando Magic there. He actually left Oklahoma City in the beginning. I think that does provide somewhat of a revenge narrative, if you will. I do like a few guys in that matchup. Next game is a 202.5 point total. It's the Memphis Grizzlies going to Atlanta to take on the Hawks. It's a 3.5 point total. I like to attack Atlanta on the perimeter. Give me some of that Mike Conley. I do think Mike Conley will pair well with Zebo or with I like Zebo more at home, but I think he would pair well with any of the bigs in the Memphis, especially Zebo or Marc Gasol. I have no issue with that. I do like Dennis Schroeder because let's just be real about it. While Memphis Grizzlies at home have a very solid perimeter defense, on the road, I don't see a very good on-ball defender when I look at Mike Conley. And I have no issue with rostering Dennis Schroeder in the matchup at a discount against Mike Conley. I don't have no issue with that at all. Next game is one of the larger point totals on the slate, man. It's the New York Knicks, my New York Knicks, and MSG taking on the Brooklyn Nets. They just played this game a couple of days ago over the weekend. And it's 221.5 is the point total. That's a very nice point total. Only 3.5 points is the spread in favor of the New York Knicks, my New York Knicks. So we can definitely take advantage of a lot of plays in this game. We talk about, Karis LeVert is a guy that I really like. Brook Lopez, of course. If we can see starters minutes for Hernan Gomez, he is definitely in play for us. I love Melo in this spot. I think he's going to play very well at home against the Brooklyn Nets. There's a lot of guys I like in this game. The only guy that I know I don't like, which probably shouldn't be that way, is Derrick Rose. But when you take off Kristaps Porzingis, another high usage guy, Derrick Rose can thrive in a situation with just him and Melo. So that can happen. So he does deserve consideration. I probably won't have him in too many of my roster builds. Next game we're talking about, the LA Clippers going to Denver. It's a 224.5 point total. And I wonder if they know that there's no Blake Griffin and there's no DeAndre Jordan. Those guys aren't even getting on the plane. And it's still a 1.5 point total in favor of the Nuggets. So we must have some Nuggets injuries somewhere along the lines. I know questionable tag was applied to Kenneth Reed. He's been out the last couple of games. Darrell Office has been questionable, as well as Wilson Chandler. So if those guys aren't playing, you think that's going to even up the score a little bit. They give them a 1.5 just for being at home. The game's going to be competitive. Jokic is, of course, he's in play. Maurice Spates is a very cheap center option that's probably going to get a start tomorrow. So there's a ton of value, I think, already here that's going to allow us to roster up to grab Russell Westbrook. I believe that, definitely. Next game, the last game on the slate, the late night hammer game, is the Orlando Magic going to Golden State to take on the Warriors. This is the largest point spread on the slate. 13.5 points the Golden State Warriors are giving up to Orlando Magic. 218 points is the total. Not a lot that I really love from this game. If I had to pick some guys, I would kind of go with cheaper guys, namely Klay Thompson and Matt Barnes. Those would be the two guys that I like the most, because I think whether it blows out or not, we can see a solid amount of run. We can see, where opportunities for Klay to get as many shots as it takes to blow them out, and then we can see Matt Barnes do a lot of the mop-up duty with the second team and playing in between the first and the second team. He's like a bridge between the first and the second team. I like that. There's only a few players around the league that have that characteristic, have that capability. He is one of them. He did it in Sacramento. He also did it before in Golden State, and he's doing it now in Golden State. So I do like him tomorrow. And plus, the price is very, very reasonable. I believe it's around 3.7, 3.8K. Very good price there. On the Orlando Magic side, we took Elf down off of the shelf. We did. Elf is not on the shelf anymore. And I'm going to have some exposure. I'm just not going to go ham. I'm not going to, chase a 72-point triple-double again. But I'm going to have some exposure to Elf. The guy that I probably won't have any exposure to is going to be Evan Fournier. I just don't like him in this matchup. I do like Vucevic. I think he can be able to run the floor. And I do like Aaron Gordon in some spots. So now that we've gone through the core four, the feature four, we jumped into the player pricing, the point totals, everything we had to do. Let's go ahead and sign off, man. I want to thank you, man. I thank y'all so much for all you've been doing, man. The sweatshop is really growing. It's really becoming a very solid place to be, man. I love to chop it up with you guys and really get into the basketball, and we talk about these things. And baseball's coming up. We've got a lot of stuff planned for you, a lot of stuff going on. What I'd like you to do, if you would like to support the show, and don't get me wrong, you already support the show with just your presence here on YouTube, giving me that voice. But if you'd like to support the show, go ahead and click that box over there. It says support the show. Click the motherfucking box. Do what it tells you to do. If you want to further support the show, you can also hit me up on my personal PayPal at simmonsmaurice95@yahoo.com. If you want to take it a step further, go ahead and cop me some DFS sweatshop swag. You can definitely do that. And if you want to become a full-fledged member of the DFS Sweatshop, it's very simple. Just go to the website at www.dfssweatshop.com. That is where you receive all of our tips and tricks and tutelage, everything that is designed to make you a profitable daily fantasy sports player. I am your DFS Jerusalem. This has been the DFS Sweatshop. Thank you. The one thing I want y'all to do when y'all go out is to keep it 300.